From Studio 1A in Tampa, Florida, comes a talk show that really feels your pain and tells you like it is. We love America and all that freedom-loving Americans want to protect. Live from coast to coast and on your radio, it's For the People with Keith Allen.
We'll help you survive this thing called life. We're for the people. Whatever your source of stress or strife, for the people is there.
Well, hello, Mr. and Mrs. America. I am Keith Allen and proudly welcoming you to this Monday's edition of For the People on the August the 14th, 2017. And it's our second week back to school here. And several of your parents are just a little sigh of relief. But the homework, I didn't miss any of that. But my daughter, Kaylee, she's getting along just fine. She got brains, and that's a good something to have, that's for sure. But August, we're high humidity here in Florida, so if you'd still like to come, and Disney's right up the road, we have Busch Gardens here, so you're welcome to come. And if you're ever in the Bay Area, give me a call, or you can actually sit in and enjoy the show. Seriously, all you have to do is just make me a cup of coffee, and you can have whatever to drink is in the refrigerator here, but I would love to have you. ForThePeopleShow.com is our website, listener-supported, For the People, on the air for you with a good dose of common sense. So if that resonates with you, well, tune in daily. A Florida couple, I don't know why it's happening in Florida, but again, this is something that if it's a consumer thing and it sticks, it can save a life. People sometimes do the dumbest things. They don't think through it, and sometimes it's because they're novices when it comes to grilling. Everybody loves grilling. You might have a portable grill, think it's a great idea, but if you're not used to using a portable grill that's a gas grill, well, you might learn what this Florida couple did, and some of you are just bright enough that you would not allow something like this to happen. But unfortunately, not a lot of people think, and if you're out in the sun and you're drinking, maybe you're not, maybe you're you're not as bright as you usually are when you're not intoxicated. But this is a very sad happening. You might just warn somebody. A little disclaimer here: somebody that you know that goes out to grill. It's packing this thing in their SUV or in their vehicle of any kind. But what took place is a tragedy, really. This couple decided that they were going to put this propane barbecue grill inside their SUV. And after loading it in with the gas on, apparently they lit a cigarette and it exploded. The grill was on. That's right. You heard right. The propane tank was open in the back of the red Kia Sorento. The couple left a barbecue at a fire at Central Florida Fairgrounds, according to Orlando Police Department. Lieutenant Cindy Lane was telling the Orlando Sentinel after the explosion, the vehicle kept traveling until it crashed into a pole, according to Lane. The two were injured after the gas grill exploded in the vehicle. Now, both people inside the SUV sustained burns. The good news is their injuries are not life-threatening, according to Fox 35. That's the Orlando station. You got to see this photo of the SUV posted on the Orlando Police Department. Unbelievable, on their website. The vehicle roof partially blown off. The photos posted by the police also show the windshield blown out and dents all over the vehicle. I mean, it's no wonder that they didn't die. I always shut off the gas after I'm done grilling. I have a gas grill. Always shut it off. Even before I shut the knobs off at the front, I shut that off first. It's the main safety valve that's actually on the tank itself. you shut that off. You always have it shut off. Anything can set these things off, man. I know it should be common sense, but again, a lot of people don't have training. They don't think through this. They didn't have a mentor. I'm telling you, I'm a firm believer of mentorship. You got to teach people. I know that you can only teach people that want to learn because you have all the know-it-alls. You know anybody like that? That just drives me crazy. But sometimes people just don't think. It's the saddest thing. They don't think for whatever reason. Now, Texas, I was in the great state of Texas probably, 2 months ago. I held a seminar there, and my brother lives in Dallas, so it was kind of an excuse to see him. But they have the open carry policy in Texas. You can have a gun strapped to you. You have to register your gun and all this. But a police officer, he was going to go in and get a checkup or whatever at the doctor's office. And they got all bent out of shape over at the ear, nose, and throat specialist in the Woodlands area on August 8th, all upset. Police officer, he had a badge. He was in a uniform, waiting to be seen. And the receptionist reportedly took the officer's information and asked him to put his gun in the car. And Dupius, he said he refused and was asked to leave. It's just bad, Duplius told the Courier. My badge is clearly displayed. I have my lanyard on with my police and my ID card hanging around my neck. I had handcuffs. The lobby was full of people, and they asked me to leave because of who I am. Licensed police officers in the state of Texas, by the way, can legally carry guns openly anywhere in the state. But the truth of the matter is, private businesses or property owners can create weapon-free zones, according to the newspaper out there, and that's true. Now, these people have the right to do what they did and refuse my service, the police officer said. Legally, they can ask me to leave because I'm not there on official police business. The Texas ENT specialist posted a statement to Facebook following the incident, noting that he apologized to Officer Duplius, but will make every effort to ensure that this does not happen again. The ear and nose specialist were the ones that put this special statement on their Facebook following the incident. This is what they said. We regret this situation that occurred on August 8th, 2017, involving Chief, and he was the chief of police, by the way, Duplius, and a member of our staff. We have personally apologized to the chief for any inconvenience or embarrassment he experienced. Our company values law enforcement officers and first responders for their selfless service and will serve them and our communities with the utmost respect. Texas ear, nose, and throat specialists will continue to treat armed law enforcement officers who have the appropriate identification. Again, we sincerely apologize to the chief for the situation and the embarrassment he may have felt. We will make every effort to ensure that this does not happen again in any of our locations. Well, it was nice. It's amazing what you can get done with social media, because you can call out folks. They were embarrassed. Now, maybe the receptionist did not know that that was the chief of police, but nevertheless, here is, a licensed, an officer of the law. Me personally, I have no problem with anybody strapped with something these days. You want that somebody there in case you have somebody that's loose cannon. We need to honor our police officers. It's a shame that we have these leftists out there. Even the state of Texas, there are those. Not as many, but I just thought it was an oddity in Texas that this chief of police, this officer, had to be treated in this fashion. I'm all for toting a gun. It's a good thing. Everybody should have one. Well, not everybody. Who? Law-abiding citizens, for one, not loose cannons or white supremacists or Nazis, crazies out there in our world. They don't need a gun. Or people that are just unhinged and shouldn't have one. But for protection. The National Security Advisor, McMaster, is calling what happened in Charlottesville terrorism, as Trump is pressed to reject these groups. And increasingly, there is this call from all media on both sides. But H.R. McMaster, he was telling ABC's this week that anytime you commit an act against people to incite fear, it is terrorism. He said one person died Saturday when a car rammed into a crowd of protesters in Charlottesville as tensions boiled over at a white supremacist rally. Not my kind of folks at all. McMaster's called it a criminal act against fellow Americans. It wasn't the act, folks, of them gathering. If it was a peaceful protest, it's what it turned into, unfortunately, and on both sides. Now, the ramming of the vehicle into the young lady that died, that was unforgivable. But there was hostility, and there was anger, and people got hurt on both sides. Tensions boiled over on both sides. It wasn't just one-sided. What really turned into a bad thing is when there was violence with the neo-Nazi guy from Ohio that rammed his vehicle into the young lady who lost her life. She was against the neo-Nazis, against the bigotry, against the hatred. She did not deserve to be mowed down in that fashion. To me, I'm all for peaceful protest. And believe me, I'm not saying that what any of those folks stood for, I stand for, but I'm saying we have a First Amendment right, and it has to be protected. But it's just not very tasteful. And the city allowed it, but it all stemmed over a statue, really, ultimately. White House officials trying to stem the damage, trying to figure out. Senior aides dispatched to the morning news shows, yet they struggled at times to explain the president's position. According to one news report here, it says a new White House statement on Sunday explicitly denounced the Ku Klux Klan neo-Nazi groups, but it was attributed to an unnamed spokesperson and not the president himself. Vice President Pence, traveling to South America, condemned these dangerous fringe groups, as he's called them, and said that they have no place in American public life and in the American debate. Trump said nothing, save for a few retweets. One was about Virginia state policeman killed in a helicopter crash while monitoring the Charlottesville protests. By the way, there were two officers that were involved with all of this, but from a helicopter, unfortunately, while they were monitoring what was going on from the air, they lost their life, lost control of the chopper. Very, very a shame. And then speaking slowly from his New Jersey golf club is what they're mentioning, 17-day working vacation. Trump added, it's been going on for a long time in our country. Not Donald Trump, not Barack Obama. It's been going on for a very long, long time. The White House statement Sunday went further. He says the president said very strongly in a statement yesterday that he condemns all forms of violence, bigotry, and hatred. And, of course, that includes white supremacists, KKK, neo-Nazis, and all extremist groups. He added he called for a national unity and bringing all Americans together.